Hey guys, I wanted to do this video and talk a bit about my sobriety. A lot of people have heard these stories before, but I've now passed 10 years of sobriety from alcohol. I um, I was drinking at least 100 beers a week, um, some hard alcohol added to occasionally depending on the week. I was going through at least 30 packs a week, and yeah, it was just a never-ending cycle. I was still working from 9 to 6, so my drinking hours would be from 6:30 till about 1:30 in the morning, and then I'd drag myself back out of bed in the morning, a hangover every day, and go work 8 hours with an hour lunch at the shelter, and feel like a normal human being a few hours into work, power through my day, do everything I was doing there, and then get home and start it over again. A lot of these things, these patterns you fall into, they feel unescapable, but you always have to remember that you actually created these cycles to begin with. And although it might have like a place of comfort, it might have something that makes you feel like this is what completes you or makes you feel whole at the end of the day. It's not. It's not. It's definitely not your best self. Your best self is able to rebound a lot better than the person who is tied to a substance. Because when you're happy, you celebrate with your substance. When you're angry, you throw that into your substance. When you're sad, you mourn with your substance. So there's no reason why you wouldn't be overindulging once you're locked into this pattern of this is how you cope with things. This is how you deal with things. So it's understandably a very, very difficult cycle to break. So you have to replace a lot of those things with other coping mechanisms. When I decided to go sober, my plan was I had to go completely straight edge. I'd been a big component, I'd been a big weed guy over the years. That's always been my thing, always. But much more so than drinking. But what happened is I got bored of it about, I don't know, it was probably about a year before I quit drinking, because what was happening, it was taking my energy level down, and I wasn't able to accomplish as much. Plus the cost of that, plus the alcohol, and the alcohol had the bigger grip on me at the time. So I just kind of like fell back from it anyway. But I knew when I quit drinking, I couldn't replace it with another substance. I had to just learn myself again. I had to hit the reset button, go back to just the basics, which is 100% what I did. So for the next 5 years, I was completely straight edge. Once those 5 years passed, I was able to re-examine things and figure out how I wanted to approach things if I wanted to do them again. Alcohol was off the table forever, but again, the cannabis was always a very positive thing for me. The thing that was the biggest hurdle for that for me was the legality, because I got myself in some legal trouble with it, and then the just not being able to get it, and that was a lot of stuff that just isn't a thing anymore. Because now with medical card, you don't have to worry about things. That's even before it became recreational. And so I went that route, and I don't know. I'm able to function a lot better because of it. And the thing is like my mentality switched, because when I went that 5 years without, I no longer wanted to be disoriented, inebriated. I didn't want to lose my control. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to be like so out of it that I'm somewhere else, or I'm in another world, or whatever the case is. So it's a different approach to what, I went back to, because it's not the same mentality. It's not the same trying to get as inebriated or as messed up as possible. I'm not interested in that anymore. It's a way more controlled, way more functional thing that I use in my life. So that's the route that I went overall. So when I say sober, I always say sober from alcohol, or I try to, because I'm very open about everything that I am and everything that I do. I don't want to mislead anybody to think that, oh well, I'm this because you heard this. No, I had a major problem with alcohol. My way of handling that was I had to cut off across the board, and half a decade of that. So from there, I was able to find my balance. I had to make it my enemy. I 100% had to make it my enemy. I had to make it something that any temptations or urges you would feel, where normally people see that as a place of comfort, where you're like, well, if I could just have this, I'd feel better. You see people quitting cigarettes and things of all sorts, and they go, oh, I would just wish I could have a cigarette. You're already fighting against your own battle because you're wishing you could have something instead of wishing for your own success. I wish this was 6 months down the road and I didn't have these cravings anymore. I wish I could run without running out of breath, or I wish I had the money that cigarettes took away from me. Wish those things. Don't wish you could have a cigarette, because you can have whatever you want. You told yourself you didn't want this. You wanted better. This goes for alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, whatever it is. You told yourself you wanted better. That's why you're going through this. So then your brain goes back to telling you, I wish I could have this. So it's the inner struggle, the mental struggle that keeps people from beating these demons, because we keep seeing it as a place of comfort. If I could just go back here, it'd be okay. And maybe not everything would be okay, but something that I'm familiar with would feel okay. And it's just not reality. So it's a matter of taking control of your own situation. I turned to physicality. That's when I really started training a lot heavier. I started pushing myself at these races. And, that's the avenue I took. And then when I quit, I was able to put some of this now extra money I had from all that I was throwing away, and I was able to get puppets and a better camera, and stuff like that's able to happen in your life. You could turn that into a vacation. You could turn that into anything that pleases you, that you can look back on and say, I was able to do this because I wasn't doing that. And it's a big win. So I don't claim to be perfect or any kind of like blueprint on how things are done. All I can do is tell you is how I did things. And if you think anything that I'm doing or anything that I've went through, that I've gone through, would help you, feel free to take, hints from, or, tips from it. Feel free to reach out if there's something that you think that I might be able to help walk you through, or, something I might identify with. Just this past year, a few months ago, one of my drinking buddies that I would sit around in the backyard and drink with, years younger than me, her liver gave and she's dead. So stuff like that, it just locks it in. That's why July 8th was my actual sobriety date. And it's the end of July now. I just remembered it last week. Because it's just become a thing of the past to me. There's no chance of going back. There's no thought of how long it's been. You're not staring at your watch anymore. After a while, your life becomes different. Just becomes vastly different, because that's what you wanted it to be. You wanted your life to exist without this vice, and you can absolutely do it. I'm proof you could do it. So there's two routes you can go, and one of them, like I said, one of them's gone. And out of those two people sitting in chairs drinking themselves into oblivion, I'm the other one. So, I got the chance to be here to even beat cancer, because the vice could have took me out before that even happened. So, just trying to, give a little bit of my story of, how I had to do things, and, 10 years in. So, I think it should count for something, and hopefully other people that are struggling are able to reach the same numbers, because you deserve better. You deserve better than burying yourself in these substances, these vices that only do more harm than good. So hopefully it helps somebody out there. Like I said, as always, reach out if you need anything. I'm here. And peace.